It's the Cable
Huh. Well, this start looks familiar. One Mox, please. We Laddywhackin? Oh, you better believe we're Laddywhackin. Mox Diamond? Well, Mox Diamond does make a mana of any color. Kind of a disappointing pick, too, from the Mox Ruby start. We just did the Reanimator thing. I'm not, like, super jonesed about it. I'm just going to take Chain Lightning. We'll see what comes. GG Spider Space. Yeah, we had a nutty deck and we drew pretty well. Thanks for the match. Evening Ariobe. Evening Chaos. There's that fucking sneak attack I wanted all last draft, Would have gone Grizzlebrand sneak attack. I'm gonna grab the Athari, but I kinda always want to be sneak attacking. It's so fun. Oh shit, what up? Hey Ilarinar, thanks to the Sob, thanks to 20 months there, the big 2-0. Is that a Lelia? That's a solid aggro thing. What are we drinking tonight? I'm sure everybody's drinking a little bit of something. Everyone that feels like drinking, probably drinking something a little different. I have a glass of Tito's in front of me. Mixed it with berry Gatorade, and it's pretty good. Very high variance mixer. Pretty solid with gin and vodka. Terrible with whiskey. Almost like that City of Traders. Yeah, I guess I'll Arena. The awkward thing about Arena in these red decks is, like, here half of my... 2/3 of my threats already have haste. I'll grab it, but... there's a chance I should just be grabbing that Get Lost to the Rabble Master. Ginger Ale goes with all. Ginger Ale is a pretty good mixer. It is pretty atrocious with, like, a Blackstrap rum, though. Wouldn't want to do that. Also, I think ginger ale, as good of a mixer as it is a worse mixer than ginger beer. I think ginger beer clears it. A little less sickly sweet, a little stronger depth of flavor. Yeah, we're going to grab a Johnny over this Ancient Tomb, and hopefully that Bombardment's going to wheel for me. Real nice a Johnny deck, though, huh? All this base red and everything. You like Tito's and Baja Blast? That sounds solid, Wellman. That sounds solid. I had an early dinner of some of the best wings here in Madison. Over at Chicken Licks, they've got like a dope ass dry rub, and then they put the dry rub in their buffalo sauce. Really flavorful stuff. I usually get a drink there, and I've been getting Tito's and or I'm sorry, no, I didn't get Tito's this time. I got some other vodka. Just vodka and Red Bull. That was decent. Been a drinking sort of day. Yeah, thinking about 3, been thinking about staff. Sometimes staff overperforms. Hey, there we go. The old bombardment wheel. I like where your head's at, MJG. I like where your head's at. The Realm Master got a lot better with the bombardment in the deck, too. Not really my pack, huh? I'm gonna grab the Raptor. The Celion Plunder is way higher. I can just, like, solo the artifact decks. But Raptor's gonna help me combine bombardment and Johnny more. Another fetch here if we want it. And I think I do. Yeah. Well, the Raptor wheel. Who cares? It's like a bunch of cards that might wheel, and none of them matter very much, so take the one that you want the most. Instead of, like, rolling the bones on, like, 2 mediocre cards or whatever you're trying to do. Yeah, Bowmaster Splash isn't crazy, but currently we have 2 fetch lands that do not have a duel to grab, so we're going to prioritize the Sacred Foundry. Hello, Ragavan. Ragavan feels so nice because there's just not very many good early plays in red. So third fetch would be solid. We're going to grab the Pyrogoyf here. Sometimes that card overperforms. Jack some rabbits. Why not? Huh? A little jacked rabbit action. Which Final Fantasy cards outside Vivi do I think will stay in the cube? Oh, I hope Vivi doesn't stay in. Card's pretty medium. Hello, Flage. Yeah, the one that I actually want to stay in is the Mog, and it probably won't. Because it like shines in like the Monastery Mentor, like Sensei's Divining Top style of deck, and I don't think everyone's putting it there and like realizing how good the Baneslayer effect on it is. Or just like having a giant lifelinking flyer is great against aggro. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a Ghost Vacuum with the sideboard. Innocence, Plunder, both have their uses, of course. Sin seems okay for Reanimator. Sin, totally reasonable. Totally fine card to leave in. I like Sin more than like the 9-mana 9/9, for example. It's a little bit more fresh and interesting. I think it's a little bit better. Oh shit, what up? Basic Robot thinks the sob. The Saga creatures are hard to evaluate. I hope the big ones don't stay in. Hello, Black Lotus. That's a little exciting, huh? Kinda glad I grabbed that Elspeth now. Yeah, the two big expensive ones, I don't think like the red 6-drop is worth it either. The white 4-drop and the white 5-drop are both like fine. The red 2-drop I think is pretty garbo. I don't know why it's in here. I think I'm gonna draft Gut over Solitude. That's what I'm gonna do. So Lurrus gets a little bit better with Black Lotus. I guess I'll grab it. Hell yeah. Thanks for the raid, Elk. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good time. No consideration for the Cutter. Cutter's kind of bad. It's kind of just fine. Ooh, a Parallax Wave. Yeah, it's weird after seeing it be like so good in Modern and Standard and stuff, but those decks get to like build the whole thing around the Cutter. And they're playing in fields where everybody's got like the same removal spells and stuff. Ooh, Voice of Victory. That card's sweet. Yeah, Witch Enchanter in the mana base, why not? Yeah, I've played Badminton like every single way you can at this point. Like I've channeled it, I've cast it with regular mana, I've sneak attacked it, I've reanimated it, and I think it is wholly unimpressive. We're a little removal light. I almost like the Static Prison, even though we don't have synergies with it really. Inti's kind of nice in terms of filling up the graveyard for Flage. I don't know what the cut would be. Gao, probably. Ooh, there's a removal spell. I'll grab Lion Sash for the sideboard. Oust very main deckable in these things. I'll think about it. Some nice sideboard options here. A little bit of graveyard hate and such. Yeah, I think this Lurrus is really good. Like, not only do we have the Black Lotus, but, like, just, like, a lot of key spells on 2 to rebuy. Let's get Karizev out of here. Realm Master is really good off of Lotus, and it's really good with Bombardment, but it is, like, one of the weaker cards in the deck. I like that the Elspeth gives me a Walker for Pyrogoyf, and then it's just, like, a good one to play off Black Lotus early. Plays well with, like, the Double Strike and such. Which means I need one more cut. I guess I'll just be the Oust. We just found something to do on turn 1. Well, opponent. How do you feel about this? Yeah, I'll fucking bin. You're a little ballsy to just jam that into a open white mana, but hopefully this doesn't mean Containment Priest. They're just resetting my Inti. Wow, that's gotta feel bad. Okay. So they saved my Inti with that attack. I guess, yeah. Sort of. So, like, they had to discard a card, and well, anyway. They have to have drawn balance for the turn, right? Or they just wouldn't have played the Philia. Just worked out really awkward for them. But then, like, the dog doesn't have to blink something, right? Isn't the dog a May? Like, just attack, I'll eat it, whatever. For American gold. Maybe you're supposed to Ragavan Dash, turn 1. If it connects, then you get to Witch Enchanter their thing next turn. Ooh. We just got ourselves another raid. Hey, Ludrox, hope you had a good stream. Balance, huh? I'm probably not playing that one. What was Ludrox playing? Some Pauper? Nice. Okay, I'm starting to see why they're playing Balance, huh? They have Mox Diamond and Chrome Mox in there. Wait, what did they just imprint? No More Lies, sure. So I maybe should have dashed Ragavan, and then before attacking, 0 to Johnny, kill one of those, see if they crew Chariot. Then if they crew Chariot, then the Witch Enchanter pops it, and the Ragavan gets to connect, actually. Something to think about. Yeah, you got it. So we're much closer to Flage now, too. This should have happened second main phase, because the Athari is going to spit out another token here. So I just left a point of damage on the board. It could be at 3. Cue the viewers that, like, are watching on mute. Come in and are like, hey, why didn't you attack first? You're like, yeah, I have to explain that you know that you fucked up a second time. If he does God Draw, this draw's been excellent. The one thing is, like, if you only have good cards in your deck, you limit the number of non-God draws you can have. But yeah, drawing the Mox was pretty nifty for sure. There's no real benefit to exhausting before we draw for the turn. Like the Black Lotus mana doesn't get like saved if you do it earlier or whatever. You know, it's always going to be temporary. So this is an instant speed removal spell. We could blow this out so hard right now. Oh well. Lightning Bolt officially better than Chain Lightning. I think I might just go in face here. We reanimating our Summon Knight. We are. Yeah, Witch Enchanter over a land is so gas. Flage would be good here. You don't want to Chain Lightning the Night token. They have double red up. They can reflect it. Pretty fine trading it off. There's an EOT through the breach. Corpse Dance. Okay. And then they get another trigger. Sure. Well, that's not bad. Very cute timing on that Corpse Dance. This is probably about the best I've seen this this Summon Beam. That's a lot of tutus. So I'm going to take this. Goblin Bombardment is the card that we need to hit, I think. Upgrade. It's going to make another 3 2/2s. Let's see. We're hitting them down to 5. We're going to braid 1 token and block 2 others. That leaves 6 times 2 is 12. And then this. So if I use 2 removal spells on them and then block another 2, I could block the 3/3. I think I'm still taking 12 damage, right? Yeah, no need to show them the Chain Lightning. Very close here, though, huh? I'm going to put him down to 2 life. Very close indeed. Let's get some graveyard hate in here, huh? Why not? Just a little bit of graveyard hate. I'm gonna cut... Parallax Wave would have been insane that game. Maybe I'll cut the Jacked Rabbit. It's a little mana intensive, similar to the Lion Sash. I'm gonna cut Voice of Victory. I'm gonna play Oust over Discharge. Do you ever board out Chain Lightning versus Red? Typically not. If the reflecting of Chain Lightning is relevant, it means that like your red opponent is passing with a bunch of mana, and you want to kill their thing. Like they have creatures that you want to kill with your Chain Lightning. If you just go and face it, doesn't matter. Is Discharge better than Chain since you have Raptor? I don't think so. In this matchup, I think being able to go 3 super matters. They could have like actual factual reanimate in their deck. Yeah, I thought about taking a Mull, because, like, if you get a hand with an actual graveyard hate spell, you just, like, don't have to worry about this. I'm like, now what do we do, right? Ooh, nothing. Can this find a reanimation effect? You dude with 109 months saying never blow your nose with a broken bottle. Words of wisdom there, you dude. Wow, that fucking sucked for me, huh? A little more info into why they kept their hand, I guess. Witchclaw is an interesting one. I usually am not a big fan of it in Reanimator, because you tutor up your thing and reanimate your thing, and then the opponent gets to tutor up an answer to your thing. Sorin might imply they've got like an actual combo kill in there somewhere. Could you have saved figure? I could have pumped my 1/1 that was taking 2 damage to a 2/2, and then it would have taken 2 damage and died. What do you think? Ooh. Hello. So we still have to grind through this library. They got a Sin, Grasp, Talisman, and Mountain. They've been the Mountain. So Infernal Grasp is the only card we know about. So that's 10 damage. This is 5. If I get back Flage, it's 12. It's like a little bit better, huh? Very close. What up? Hey, someone Danoka. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for 84 months. God, I hope this red aggro deck gets to beat Pyrokinesis, fucking Plague Windu turn 3 into Atraxa. That'd be wild, huh? I would not describe this deck as mid-range, John Clara. Like, looking at this, like, Flage is a mid-range card, and, like, the Lion Sash that I boarded in out of the sideboard. And most of the deck is aggressive as balls. Hand's a little slow, unfortunately. If this deck is mid-range, then, like, Modern Boros and Legacy Boros are mid-range. I have no idea what y'all are smoking. Card flow. Every creature in the cube does that. Ragavan is still an aggro threat just because it draws a card when it connects. Yeah, if you're thinking of like Boomer-ass Sly with like 2-mana 2/2s that can't block or whatever as like your definition of aggro, it's like very antiquated, right? Like in modern Magic, every fucking creature has to draw cards and have an immediate board presence and get value and stuff. The mid-range decks are like playing stabilizing cards, and the aggro decks are playing like fuck you, you're dead cards, which is why a Johnny is an aggro card. And they have tighter curves. I do not think the turn length is what determines whether a deck is aggro or the game length is what determines if a deck is aggro or mid-range. Boros gets like turn 3 kills on the regular. So I don't even think that's true, Sirfetched. Not in my experience with modern Boros. It's Sunday night. My chat's high as shit. And that's totally fine. That was a cool one. What am I drinking? I'm drinking some Tito's. That's pretty pleasant. Mid-range does not mean win through card advantage. Jesus fucking Christ. If anything, that would be control, right? I literally just gave you a definition. And it has nothing to do with that. All right, we got a couple donations here. Run from Squid Squad that wants to listen to a song. We'll fire that up in a sec. And Spawn wants to stip draft a mid-range deck. Sure thing. We can do both of those. Sometimes red. There is the aggro control genre. And that typically has to do with like cards that play well in an aggro or control capacity. So like Cryptic Command, for example, can tap down your opponent's creatures to let you attack in for lethal, or it can be used in a control range, like counter your thing, draw a card, chain that into the next, counter your thing, draw a card. So aggro control decks can obviously take on the control or the aggro role, but they're not necessarily mid-range. I think I should have played the Bombardment on turn 2. I wasn't really thinking. Let's see what this Raptor do. I came into 18. Thinks there's 71 months there. Oh, we are going to get to fuck this board up real nice. Mid-range is between low range and high range. Yeah. Yeah, mid-range deck isn't pressed. And it hasn't been sprayed. It's not like brown. Oh, that's a good pyrokinesis. Let's just kill this Magda now. But it might still have seeds in it, and it's not going to be as potent as, like, some top-tier hydroponic stuff. And that, to me, is mid-range. When your kitchen range is just kind of mid. Yeah, I think that's a valid definition. Mid-range is the central heating element on larger stovetops. Oh, that's also accurate. Chat's got some good definitions of mid-range. Finally! Sure. So they're going to get 5 in here. That's totally fine. Let's sack the grease wrench. Who cares? Actually... Yeah, Voice of Victory, pretty good with Bombardment, huh? Mutt serving at me, sure. So opponent, like, kind of has to do the rest of it with burn, huh? That seems hard. It seems hard in this cube. You're British. You don't know shit about guns. What? So if a British man is insecure about his small-ass dick, what does he do about it? You don't have monster trucks. You don't have guns. I guess you still got sports. Soccer hooligan, yeah. They do still have sports cars. That's true. That's true. When I was in London, I had an Uber driver complain about immigrants. It was very odd. We were just like, yeah, we actually we actually like diversity. This is not the best conversation if you want to get some tips. He eventually left us alone. It was very weird, though. And then the Elspeth could have pumped here, of course. But, you know, lethal's lethal. Yeah, he was like, London used to look like me. I was like, oh, well. I'm glad there's something else here now, then. A market improvement. So Austin Chainsaw both seem reasonable. Adeline's kind of hard to like burn out if they're a red deck. Could jam that. Hey, cheers, Dukes. Maybe I'll cut this grease wrench. Thanks for the subs. Is Broadside the only thing missing here? So we don't have Palace Jailer, Solitude, Fury. We don't have the dog that blinks things. Containment Priest, the dog, and Parallax Wave are like kind of 3 nice cards to have with each other. Hard to cut this Laris. I don't think I should be. Yeah, I'll just not play the Adeline. Solid looking opening. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Go for this road. It's been wild seeing how like the US's polls have changed even within like a 4-year span. Like a little bit of propaganda goes a super long ways. But it's shifting back now that people like see what actual anti-immigration policies look like. Wait, not like that. Yeah, well. Kari Zev seems like a nice chain lightning target. And this game I'm gonna sequence it properly and run the bombardment out first. And then next turn we can play the Ajani and flip it immediately if we want. Right, Real Milkman? You can see public opinion shifting with the Dem messaging. Like when the Dems tacked right on on migrants and stuff, like public opinion continued shifting with them because then their base followed them. The blue no matter who people just like followed them blindly. It was really depressing to watch. That seems like a hard card for them to deal with here. Could bolt ourselves to activate staff. Probably worth it, huh? From 20 life. Oh, nice. They are tapping out for it, which means the Sajani's going to get to flip, I think. Oh, hold on. Seems worth, huh? It's like a lot of fucking damage out of nowhere. Hell yeah, Reathered. Glad you enjoyed the stream. Glad you enjoyed the tunes. Staff of the Storyteller. It's a little hard to argue as an aggro card. but it is a mid-range card that fits in aggro strategies. Aggro and control strategies. I guess that's the whole idea, huh? Mid-range, just playing a lot of those. I have 2 creatures and a Goblin Bombardment. You're at 2 life. I think I see the line. Nice little trophy. We have a stip from the great Spawn Haster. Appreciate you, Spawn. Let's throw that in the overlay. I have to piss.